Hey guys, I am so excited for today's video. I am going to be talking to you all about eyebrows and giving you my tips and tricks on how to fill in your brows perfectly. I know this video has been done by like thousands of people, I get that, but I wanted to show you guys my personal tips and tricks on how to fill in your brows and make them full and beautiful even when they aren't naturally that way. I know this is a big issue for a lot of girls. I myself am included. I don't naturally have very full or dark eyebrows, so I have to fill them in and make them that way. So I wanted to show you guys just my personal way that I like to do it and how I like to get my eyebrows shaped and make them just looking full and complete with the rest of my face. So we just moved into our first house. We have been renting for the first 2.5 years of marriage, and we just finally bought our first house. So everything is in a mess and in boxes, but I really just missed filming, and I really wanted to just sit down and do just a short video for you guys today because I know we have been so busy with unpacking and different projects already with the house. Just everything is complete chaos, but I wanted to just take some time for myself to sit down and just film a video for you guys today. You guys know brows are my favorite thing to do. If I'm leaving the house even for a second, I can't go anywhere unless my brows are done. They are my #1 favorite thing to do when it comes to makeup. I can leave the house with 0 other makeup on as long as I have my brows done. It just makes me feel more complete and finished, and even though that's the only thing, I just feel like it looks a little bit like more put together. So that's my #1 thing. So I wanted to do this video today for you guys and just show you my tips and tricks on how I get my brows like this. So first I'm going to show you guys how to shape your brows and make them into the proper shape, and where to put your arch and where to end your eyebrows and where to begin your eyebrows and all that good stuff. And then I'm going to show you guys how to fill them in and make them full and natural, and then I'll show you how to go back in and clean them up and just make them look really finished and clean and beautiful, because isn't that what we all want from our brows? I know that's what I want. I want them to look beautiful and full but still look natural. So I'm going to show you guys how to get that look today. Alright, so first I'm just going to show you how to shape your brows so that we can prep them to fill them in and make them all beautiful and full and luscious looking. Alright, so the general shape of your brow, you want to use a straight utensil, and so it should start lined up with the inner corner of your eye. So you can just take any straight utensil, line it up with the inner corner of your eye, and that is where your brow should begin. And then for the arch, you want your utensil to come to the center of your nose, and it should hit right about the middle of your eye, like this. And then you want your brow to end from the side of your nose. It should be lined up with the end of your eye, like so. So this is where your brow should end, arch, and begin. So we're going to start by removing the unwanted hairs above the brow and in between the brows, and just clean them up a little bit. So what I like to do is get the few dark hairs that I have with my tweezers, and then I like to go back and I use this to just go back over the sections that might have a few little straggler hairs, or that are just prone to like extra peach fuzz on your face. And you can just go over those areas with the little eyebrow shaper and make sure that they're extra smooth. And then you'll want a clean, fluffy brush to just go in and make sure that you get all those little hairs off of your face. Alright, now that we've got all those hairs cleaned up, we're going to go in and just brush our brows. So you want to go straight up, essentially straight up. And so you can see I've got some hairs that we will trim in just a second. So you're just going to brush your brows up. Then you can use any pair of scissors for this, but I would recommend getting a good pair of hair cutting scissors, and then you'll just go through, and I just like to like hold my brow in place and then just trim those hairs and make them a little bit shorter so that they just blend much nicer together. It's always so satisfying to me to trim my brows, make them really clean looking. Just something about it feels really good. And then see, it already looks like so much better. And I just like to make sure that this section is like really straight. That's gonna really help us get a nice clean line when we're filling in our brow. So I just like to really go over this section, just make sure that all of these hairs are trimmed. So that's gonna help us fill them in really nice and make them look really good. All right, so now I am going to grab my Anastasia Brow Wiz pencil. You can do this with any eyebrow pencil that you choose. I just really like this one because I think it works really well for filling in my brows, and it's got a good color to it. This is the color dark brown. I've tried lots of other drugstore brand eyebrow pencils, and this one just seems to work the best for me. So it is a little more expensive at $21, but really any eyebrow pencil will work for this, but this is just what works for me. And also let me know what you guys like. If you have any specific eyebrow pencils that you really love, you can leave those in the comments down below and let me know what works for you guys and what you like. All right, so I'm gonna go in with this pencil and I'm just gonna line underneath my brows and just start creating the shape that we want to go for. So I usually like to draw them out a little bit. So it's kind of goofy at this step, but I like to draw them out just a little bit. And you don't have to make it perfect because we're going to go back in and clean it up, but just get the general shape that you're wanting for your brows at this step. And just make sure that they're pretty even and symmetrical. So as you can see, my brow's growing totally uneven. This one's way more full in this section than this one, but you want to focus on making them even rather than drawing the natural shape of your brow. Because if I followed the natural shape of my brow in this one, it would have been way more arched than this one. So you just want to try and get them as even and matching as possible. All right, I think they look pretty good and even. So now I'm going to pick up the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. And this is also in the color dark brown. I feel like every time I just use a pencil to fill in my brows, I run out of the pencil so quick, and I just feel like this product, it just lasts like so much longer and I can get so much more use out of this. So I really like these brow pomades and they work really great for filling in your brows. But I find that they get dried out really quickly. I mean, they work great the first, I don't know, like month or so that you use them, but any longer than that and I feel like they get really dried out. So I'm going to be using another Anastasia product, surprise, but this is their really small little angled brush. And this just works really great for filling in your brows. It's so small, it's angled, it's just perfect for my brows anyways. I'm sure any small angled brush will work, but I just like this one because it has this end so I can brush and clean and also fill them in, and this has lasted me a long time. Like the number is completely rubbed off, but this is the number 20 brush. And the trick to make the brow pomade last a lot longer is that I just dip it in some eye makeup remover, and this is the Estee Lauder Gentle Eye Makeup Remover that I've been using, and this has lasted me for so long because occasionally I'll use it to actually take my eye makeup off, but most of the time I just use it for this. I'll take my small angled brush and I'll actually just dip it down in here just a little bit. You want to shake it off, and then you'll go in with your brow pomade, and I just kind of like swirl it around in there. You don't want it to be too wet, but just to like reactivate the product and give it some more moisture and some more life. But just go in, just get enough product on your brush, and then you're ready to start filling them in, and it just makes the product last so much longer. So I'll link this eye makeup remover down below for you guys. If you haven't tried it before, I've had it for a really long time and it works really well for me, so I will link that down below for you guys. So I'm picking up just a little bit of product on the brush. You probably can't see it, but Alright, so this is the general shape that we're going for. Remember to make sure that your brow ends at the end of your eye when it's lined up with the end of your nose. And it's okay to over line your brows a little bit, because we can go back in and correct that if I think they're a little bit too thick at the end, which they might be just looking at them, but we'll go back in and correct that at the end. And now I'm just gonna work on filling them in. So you wanna make this section here, not quite the beginning, but about a quarter of the way through your brow. This should be the darkest. Carry over to about halfway, and then this part in theory should be a little bit lighter. So I like to save this section at the beginning for the very last. Alright, so now they are all filled in, other than this very middle section. So I usually like to just take whatever product is left on my brush at this point, and I'll just start at the bottom and just like work my way up a little bit. But you really don't want this section to be too dark, because this will make it look more natural the lighter that it is. Just fill it in slightly and just work your way over to the dark part and just blend it. And it helps if your brow's a little less full, like mine is right here, to just take your brush, maybe get a little bit more product, and then just kind of draw like faux hairs. Just go in the direction that you want your hairs to go so that it looks more natural. Alright, now at this point I just like to go back in with my BROWS pencil and just touch up any spots that look like they might need just a little extra darkening. Alright, so as I thought, they look pretty thick at this point. So now I'll show you how to go back in and correct that and just make them look really nice and crisp and finished. And then this is also a great step to prep for eyeshadow. So as you notice, I haven't done my eyes yet. So I'm going to go in and clean my brows up, and then we'll be all prepped and ready for eyeshadow. Before I go in and clean them up, I'm going to just go back in, grab my tweezers, and just hit any little hairs that are underneath my brows. Now that I know the exact shape that I want them to be, I can go back in and tweeze any extra little hairs that might have grown out of place and just make sure that we got all of them. So this is an important step. Don't forget it. Okay, so I like to start by just taking a little bit of concealer, and this is just the Master Conceal concealer in the color Fair by Maybelline, and this is the lightest color that it comes in just because my skin is so extra pale right now. And also it's good to have a nice light color when you're doing your brows because it's nice to highlight right above your brows, and it just really makes them stand out and pop and look fabulous. So we're gonna use this, and I'm just gonna put a little bit right on the back of my hand here. All right, so just grab a little bit of product. See how that like just immediately makes a difference and just cleans up that line and makes it all look just really smooth and clean? It's what you want. And then go in and do the top, and I'm actually going to go in just a little bit more and just make my brows just a little bit thinner on top. Alright, so after you are done cleaning up your brows and making sure that they are how you want them, this is it. They are done. So I am going to go finish my eye makeup, and then I'll be right back. All right, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video and I was able to teach you a little bit about how to fill in your brows if you didn't already know, or just show you guys what I like to do to fill in my brows personally. Maybe I helped you guys out, gave you a little bit more information, and hopefully you guys will be able to put this information to good use and maybe even try some new products if you haven't tried the products that I used today. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I have been kind of lacking lately, but I am going to get back to it just as soon as we start getting things a little bit more situated here. So look for updates on Instagram. I also have a Snapchat, and I'm going to link all that stuff down below for you guys. If you have any comments or questions about this video, please leave those down below as well. I love to hear from you guys. So again, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you all have an awesome week. I'll talk to you soon.